I'll be showing you all of the Glintstone rise towers. I already made a few videos, so I'll be merging a few videos together, and I'll add the rest of the rise towers at the end of the video. Let's hope there's some cohesion. Getting memory stones is necessary for most builds in Elden Ring, especially if you decide to just spam sorceries or incantations. On that note, there are only 8 in the game. Very unfortunate. Not really anyway, most of the memory stones are in the early game, so it shouldn't take long to get them, and you'll be able to spam Azure Comet as soon as possible. If that's even still a build, I'm not too sure anymore. Anyway, the first one is at Orodis's Rise in the Weeping Peninsula. It's at the start pretty much. You just need to head to the site of grace before the wall. A merchant's resting at it. And from here, you just need to go to the east and take the Spirit Spring up. You'll jump straight up the cliff and be next to the tower. From here, you just need to do the puzzle, which isn't too hard. The first dog you need to hit is literally right behind you. You genuinely can't miss it. The next doggo is to the left of the stairs to the tower. The third one is in the middle of the small pond to the right of the tower. It's invisible. Just swing till you hit it. But there should be a message or two to guide you. Then once you get all 3, the door will open and you just need to head up the tower and open the chest. Inside will be a memory stone. I'm in New Game Plus on this character, so it's not here since I've already gotten it. But trust me, it's there. Anyway, the next few ones are in the Lake of Liurnia. You can either kill Godric or skip him. Doesn't matter, just make your way to the west side of the lake, and by the minor Erdtree is another tower, the Converted Tower. This one also has a puzzle, but we're not doing that. To do that, you need to do the quest of this one guy, but that takes too long. Instead, just hop on Torrent and go up the broken wall around the tower. Once behind the tower, you'll be able to just jump onto the tower and head up the stairs, and once again open the chest and collect the memory stone. Now, this next one's just a little annoying. It's at Testu's Rise, which is northwest of the Raya Lucaria Academy, or you can just go north of the Glintstone dragon that guards the key to the academy. Anyway, once you activate the puzzle, a few enemies will start spawning from the ground. It's annoying, but not unbearable. Just go north, and you'll find the first doggy on the rocks. And from here, head southeast, and behind the tower up in the trees will be the second dog. It's just a bit to the back right of the tower. And the last one is a dash left of south on the compass. So just head south and look over the edge. It'll be a bit below you. Once you get this one, just go and get the memory stone like before. The next one doesn't have a puzzle. Instead, you need to defeat the Red Wolf of Radagon in the Raya Lucaria Academy. It's not a hard fight, so once you kill him, you'll get the memory stone. The next one is also locked behind a boss fight. This one is at the Three Sisters. You have to defeat the Phantom Loretta inside the Carrion Manor. Once you do that, you just go to Seluvis's Rise, which is on the far left of the 3 towers. Once there, you just need to go past Seluvis and get the memory stone just like usual. Now, this next one is in Dragon Barrow in Caelid. This isn't locked behind any boss fight, and the easiest way to get here is by taking the portal shortcut behind the Third Church of Marika in Limgrave. Once here, just go down and across the bridge. There'll be a dragon for you if you haven't killed it, so try not to get bitch slapped by a tail. Once across the bridge, just head to the east, and once you reach the cliff, just jump off onto the Spirit Spring. Then use the Spirit Spring to go up and land on the roof of Len's Rise. Get off of Torrent, then slide down the roof onto the balcony. Then by now you should know the drill. Go up the rise and get the memory stone. Alright, this next one is in Mount Glamir at the primeval Sorcerer Azure Site of Grace. Unfortunately, unlike with Dragon Barrow, there's no good shortcut for this. Just suck it up and progress through the game. It's annoying, I know. Now, all you need to do is defeat the demi-human Queen Maggie. She has rogue Raya Lucaria sorcerers that help her out in the fight. Along with demi-humans, it's pretty annoying since she also uses magic. But it's not a real problem. It's easier to do if you take out the annoying interruptions, then fight here. Or, just come back once you're overpowered. Once she dies, you'll get the 7th memory stone. Now this last one is the hardest to get. It may take some people hours of gameplay before they can even attempt to try and get this one. It's at the Twin Maiden Husks in the Round Table Hold, and it costs a mind-boggling amount of 3,000 runes. I know, it's truly impossible to acquire, but once you collect this one, you can officially make your intelligence or faith build. And let's be honest, at least it's not a Guts cosplay. So this puzzle is quite simple. All you need to do is find the 3 wise beasts. The problem is that they're all around the Moonlight Altar, not just the tower. So the first one is actually just to the back right of the tower, hanging on the side of the cliff. Just use a bow and arrow to shoot it, and it'll fall and die. Now the next one is at the most east-southern part of the altar. To get there, you just need to follow the path heading northeast. You'll waddle into a stretch of woods and come out the other side heading east. Then you just need to go up the hill to the back, and off to your left will be another giant dog. Shoot it and move on to the last one. This last one is at northwestern part of the Moonlight Altar, just by the Ringleader's Ever jail. To get there, you can just go back down the hill, past the nice stretch of woods, and instead of going left down to Chilona's Rise, just keep going straight and turn right by the cliff. Now from here you just need to head north, past all the crystallines. After you pass the forest of rocks, you'll be able to see the dog up in the air. Now you could shoot it, but it's a bit easier to just stand in middle of the spirit spring and jump. The doggy will croak and the tower will open. And up inside the tower, at the top, is the Rani's Dark Moon Sorcery. Truly a great reward, well worth it. It actually is pretty good. I just never raise my intelligence enough to use it. I'm a bit too stupid for that, so I rely on faith. Now, the heretical rise in the mountaintop of the giants, and the albinoric rise in the consecrated snowfields. These two are the ones that seem to be the hardest to figure out. I'll probably make a video on all of the magic towers at some point, but I'm not quite sure when I'll do that. Probably sooner rather than later. But I forget a lot, so who really knows? Anyway, the mountaintop of the giant's heretical rise is actually pretty simple. It's not hard to get to, and the puzzle is actually pretty simple, though most people probably wouldn't think to check out the other side of the canyon until after they've damn near given up. So what you need to do is head to the frozen Lake Grace, then go up the hill on your left. Ignore all of the skeletons, and just stick to the left side of the mountain. You'll see 2 skeletons shooting arrows at you on the bridge. Go up to the bridge they're on and go to the edge. There is an invisible pathway to the rise, so just head straight to the tower. You can place down rainbow stones or something so you know where the platform is if you want. But it's not really needed until you get to the stairs, and even then it's not really too useful. Because as you can see, there's snow on the stairs that leads up the tower. I didn't have any rainbow stones, so I used something much worse instead. But once you climb the invisible stairs, you'll enter the rise and the notification will appear that the seal broke. And in true From Soft fashion, you'll get assaulted the moment you enter the rise, and you can't fight back until you dismiss the notification. I just run past them and go up the elevator. There's no need to fight some annoying-ass mechanical birds. On the stairs to the reward room, there'll be a mechanical puppet, so don't get too jump-scared by him. He's just a little guy. Anyway, the reward is the Sorcery Founding Stars of Rain. I personally never ran a sorcery build, so I don't know if this is good or not, but at least now you have it. And it's a legendary sorcery, so I think it counts towards an achievement, and that's always nice. Now for the most annoying rise, the albinoric rise in the consecrated snowfields. This isn't annoying because it's particularly hard to do, as you might imagine. It's the most annoying because it's in the fucking fog of the consecrated snowfields. Good news though, as long as you have the second grace in the middle of the consecrated snowfields, which is just before the frozen lake, this shouldn't be too hard for you to get to. So from the grace, go up the hill heading east. And after you pass a bunch of rocks, you just need to head north to northeast. You'll know you're going in the right direction because you'll see a bunch of graven masses. Eventually you'll reach the tower and you'll see a statue of 2 imps. The puzzle requires you to summon the danger imps and have them fight each other. Now it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't have these spirit simmons, so I'll show you where to get them. You need to go to the main Academy Gate site of Grace. And then you just need to hop on Torrent and go all the way down the pathway until you get to the merchant. You can buy the spirit ashes from him, along with the Fervor's cookbook too, which is necessary for any sleep build. Anyway, you don't need to level the imps at all, just summon them in front of the tower, then draw aggro from one of or both the imps around the tower and let them fight. After they exchange a few blows, you can kill them and the seal will open. There's an alternative method to opening the rise, which just invokes using the bewitched branch on one of the imps and letting the two imps that are already there fight. Either way you do it, once the tower opens, just go on up and collect your reward, which is the Graven Mass Talisman. And this talisman increases sorceries by 8%. Again, I don't personally use sorceries, I'm an honest faith user. But this is a pretty good talisman, since it doesn't have any conditions to its use. It's simply just base 8% increase. It's not the best, and you're probably better off using something like the two-headed turtle talisman or something, but it's not a bad talisman. I just felt the need to mention that, because I've seen how much hate this talisman gets for absolutely no reason. So anyway, now we're back to needing the erudition gesture and one of the Glintstone crowns at the converted Cringe Tower, which is on the east side of the Lake of Liurnia. To get here, you can just go east from the frenzied Flame Town. Using the erudition gesture opens the seal on the rise, and unfortunately, you can't skip it like the last time. So I'll actually show you how to get the gesture really quick. It shouldn't take you longer than a couple minutes. So, from the debate parlor site of grace, go out into the courtyard and go to your left, up the broken staircase, and then go all the way up the stairs and jump over the railing to your left. Then go up the stairs once more and jump over the railing once more. Continue going to the left and then climb the ladder. Make sure to clear out the puppet enemies or else you'll be shot off the ladder. Once at the top, go down the walkway. Either kill these enemies or ignore them and drop down onto the roofs at the back right. From here, you just need to drop down the roofs until the roof above the two puppets, and you can jump down into the roof with the ladder that goes down. Then just jump onto the church roof and hop inside any window and walk across the beams until you reach the chandelier with the rare item on it. The item is the Academy key, and now before we leave the Academy, I'll show you where to get a Glintstone crown. So back at the debate parlor, just run around the stairs to your left and go under the bridge. Be careful of the rolling death trap and head all the way to the back left, and in some trees will be a Glintstone crab. Killing it gets you a crown. Now, you need to go to the Church of Irith to get the erudition gesture. You need to hand over the key you have to Thops, and in return, you'll receive the gesture. Now finally we can talk about the reward, and it's the Cannon of Hymer and the Gavel of Hymer sorceries. Pretty good sorceries. At the very least I seem to get my ass beat by them enough. Now the next rise is in the Atlas Plateau. This one's called the Mirage Rise, and as you might expect, it damn near doesn't exist. The puzzle here is actually pretty easy. You just need to touch these glyphs. It even gives you a map, so that make it much easier. The first one is directly in front of you, then the next one is southwest next to the wall. A few imps spawn in to protect it, which isn't important for this one, but it is for the next one. So the last one is southeast, up the path on your right. A imp will spawn at the top of the hill, and if you go left once up here and go across the rocks, you should see this big-ass rock. It's an illusion. Just hit it, and the glyph will appear. Just collect it. Then once the rise appears, just head on back and go up to collect your reward. The reward is the sorcery's Unseen Blade and Unseen Body. I've never seen anyone use these, and I don't actively use sorcery, so I'm not sure if this is actually good. Now there's no other rises, except for Lena's and Rani's. I'll mention them real quick, just because I can. So after fake Loretta's fight, the rise directly in front of you is Lena's rise, which only opens later in Rani's questline, after you've given her the Fingerslayer blade. Inside is the Snow Witch set, which is in a chest behind you just as you climb the ladder, and a portal that takes you to the Ainsel River main. And in Ranni's tower, there's nothing except for Ranni's herself and a site of grace. Later in her quest, there's a second site of grace in her chamber, which is also after she's given the Fingerslayer blade. Now, there's one last tower in the entire game, and it's in the DLC. This one's super simple. It's right next to the Church District High Road Grace, which is at the eastern part of the Skardu Plateau. So run up to the tower, and behind it on the left side, you'll see a sealed spirit spring. As I'm sure everyone knows by now, you can either just find the rock that's sealing it, or use Margit or Mohg's shackle to destroy the seal. Then you just take the spirit spring up and get the reward, which is Rabath's cannon, which is just a magic version of the jar cannon. I've never used it, so I'm not really sure if it's good or not. And now some of you geniuses might have noticed that the tower is unusually tall and that there's a hole in the ceiling. That's because there's actually a different way to enter the tower and another reward up above. The way to get up there is by going to the Shaman village in Hinterland. You need to head to the back of the Shaman village. Then go southeast, and you'll be able to follow a path downwards. You'll need to do a bit of dropping down, but it's not hard. It's all very obvious where you should drop down. And once you get down to the rise, you just need to walk off onto the balcony, and directly inside will be the puppet of Anna. This is only useful if you gave Jolan the Iris of Grace at the end of her quest and got her spirit summons, since you can get Jolan and Anna's spirit summons by using the puppet if you have Jolan ashes already. Now if you drop down onto the sides, you can collect the Spell Machinist's Bell Bearing, and this allows you to buy Rabbit's Great Bolt at the Twin Maiden Husks. Now that's every single Glintstone rise in Elden Ring. Took us a while, but we got there in the end. If you watched until this point, then thanks for sticking around. And if you happen to find this video helpful, then please consider giving this video a like and subscribing. It would really help out the channel and mean a lot to me. That's about it. Until next time.